You could turn in your Bibles to
Somebody once told me, hey now, what a concept. Somebody once told me, I said yeah. Go for the moon.
Hello and welcome to Somebody Once Told Me, the podcast where we explore the voice of Christ and his church in the book of Psalms. It's a new month and we are going to be looking at Psalm 5 in the next series of podcasts. Psalm 5. Aaron,
Hello.
how's it going?
All right.
Would you read to us Psalm 5?
Yes, okay. To the choir master for the flutes, a psalm of David. Give ear to my words, O Lord. Consider my groaning. Give attention to the sound of my cry, my King and my God. For to you do I pray. O Lord, in the morning you hear my voice. In the morning I prepare a sacrifice for you and watch. For you are not a God who delights in wickedness. Evil may not dwell with you. The boastful shall not stand before your eyes. You hate all evildoers. You destroy those who speak lies. The Lord abhors the bloodthirsty and deceitful man. But I, through the abundance of your steadfast love, will enter your house. I will bow down towards your holy temple in the fear of you. Lead me, O Lord, in your righteousness because of my enemies. Make your way straight before me. For there is no truth in their mouth. Their inmost self is destruction. Their throat is an open grave. They flatter with their tongue. Make them bear their guilt, O God. Let them fall by their own counsels. Because of the abundance of their transgressions, cast them out, for they have rebelled against you. But let all who take refuge in you rejoice. Let them ever sing for joy, and spread your protection over them, that those who love your name may exult in you. For you bless the righteous, O Lord. You cover him with favour as with a shield.
There's quite a lot going on in this psalm. Here we go. We're getting deeper every week.
It's like this is fifth gear now. Like if we've gone Psalm 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, we're in fifth gear. 5. Pelting down the M4 in the right-hand lane.
It's stepped up a bit.
So we started something in Psalm 3, which was, we should do, like, to help us remember the Psalms, sort of do a Mickey take of a Friends episode. The one where,
yep.
So we said, I think with Psalm 3, it's the one with all the enemies.
The one with all the foes.
Yeah. We forgot about this last month, right? So what's Psalm 4?
Psalm 4, I think, would be the one, the one where you wake up. Oh no, the one where you lie down and sleep in peace.
Yeah. The one where Jesus lies down and sleeps in peace, for sure.
Yeah.
And we can learn that.
Yes, yeah. So,
that's not snappy what I said at all. The one where the one with going to bed and sleeping in peace. Okay. What's
the
this
one with the sleeping in peace.
The one with the sleeping in peace. That's the one.
That sounds a bit more like a Friends episode.
That does. The one with the sleeping in... Do you remember the one with the sleeping in peace? Oh, yeah, I remember that one.
Psalm 4.
Psalm 5. What is Psalm 5?
The one where you wake up.
Yeah. That's good. The one... I mean, it makes sense. We've gone to bed in Psalm 4, slept in peace, and now we wake up.
The one with the waking up.
Because it is to do with the morning.
It's to do with the morning, yeah.
So if Psalm 4 was to do with the night time, Psalm 3 as well is also a lie down and sleep. Psalm 5 very much is...
It's another day.
It's another day.
Good morning.
Good morning. What's that? Vietnam?
Is it New York? Oh, Vietnam. Yeah.
Nice.
That's from Forrest Gump, isn't it?
What do you want to talk about? We should probably begin in the first verse, right?
Yeah.
On this one.
I think take note to the choir master again.
Oh.
But it's not with stringed instruments. It's for the flutes. So this is like... Obviously, you got a different tone to it and...
Different timbre.
Yeah.
That's a word I remember hearing once.
It's got a different feel because the flutes has a different sound to the stringed instruments, but it's still quite. I think this one's more melancholic. Melancholic.
Yes.
Yes.
It's
this
full
one's
of melancholy.
Melancholy. It's probably the first proper imprecatory psalm.
I did think that's what I meant by it gets a bit real later on.
Yes,
Declare them guilty, oh God. It's like, okay. We'll get to that.
Yeah. It's
where does the psalm begin then?
I think it begins in the same sort of context as Psalm 3 and 4. So if Psalm 4 is going to sleep, then the next morning is like waking up. But it is a morning psalm. So it could be any morning, really, that the Lord Jesus wakes up and prays. But it is specifically his experience where the enemies are still around him. You know, we're still in that place where there's enemies around, and they turn up again in the psalm, and he prays against them. Whereas in the previous psalm, he speaks to them, saying, "What are you doing? Do this, do that." In this psalm, he asks the Father to do things to them. So,
okay.
But that's in the later part of the psalm. But it starts by
give ear to my words, O Lord. Consider my sighing. That's what I have in my NIV 1984.
Well, the new NIV will have, is it the 2010 one? Will have consider my lament.
Oh, that's
So
cool.
that's good because you've just been preaching on lamenting.
Lamentations, yeah. So there is a sense, I suppose, where, oh man, I've got another day to face. Where Jesus of Nazareth there's a weight that he feels, a heavy weight every morning. As the man of sorrows, isn't it?
Yeah.
Familiar with our suffering. But first thing in the morning, he's bringing his lament to God.
To the Father, yeah. I think there's so many mornings where I wake up and I just sigh.
Yes.
And that word sigh or lament, that's often what I do first of all is lament the day.
Yeah, I know that you know the things you got to do today.
Yeah.
And
it's overwhelming.
Even the little things that they can feel so massive, can't they?
Yeah.
But obviously Jesus of Nazareth had massive things to deal with every day. Such hostility, because all the nations, Psalm 2, are raging against him. People want to kill him. People hate him. He came to that which was his own, and his own didn't receive him. Yeah. So Jesus wakes with a sigh.
He wakes with a sigh.
But he goes, it's not just an introspective, it's going to God, give ear, and it's like a sigh to him.
The ESV has groaning, lament, groaning, sigh.
That's cool.
But isn't it so often, and this is my experience, my groans reach the ears of Izzy before they reach the ears of the Father in heaven. And Jesus,
we annoy people for a long time before we ever pray. Is it what you're saying? Like,
immediately our groaning, our sighing reaches the ears of those in our household, or your neighbours, your colleagues at work, and you haven't even turned to the Lord in prayer.
Yes,
but He's the one that needs to hear those groans and the sighs first and foremost, and you direct them to Him, just like Jesus does here. He's just well trained in waking up and sighing and groaning and lamenting to the Father and bringing everything before Him.
And again, like with Psalm 4, how Psalm 4 begins at the end of verse 1, hear my prayer. Again, it begins, give ear to my words, consider my sighing. Yeah. He does call on God to take note of me and my situation. Don't forget me. It's a similar to how he began praying last night. He begins praying in the same sort of vein this morning.
Yes. Yeah. And it's really good words to use, isn't it? Waking up. I'll go to Izzy. Oh, there's this and that. Listen to what I have to do today. But it's really, we should be going, oh, Father, listen to my groans now.
Yeah.
They listen to my sighs. Give ear. And then let rip.
Yeah.
Just,
yes, absolutely, yeah. And the sighing and groaning is helpful because sometimes we can't put into words, can we? What we're feeling. And the Spirit, we're told in Romans 8, is able to sort of take that. And I know what you mean. I know what you're trying to say. And I can take that to the throne for you.
Yeah.
Also, I was just thinking here in verse 2, listen to my cry for help, my King and my God.
Yes.
Just how Jesus understands, he puts himself under first thing in the morning. It's funny, isn't it? Like, Jesus, you are king, but he goes, yeah, but I have a king and a God, my Father. And I always put myself under him. And I understand that he's actually enthroned, immortal and invisible, it's sublime. And what he says today goes, and he's my God, and I trust him.
He's teaching us as human beings how to be properly human.
Yeah.
In seeing the Lord as king, isn't it? Yeah. And also, he is king. Like you said, Jesus is king, the Father's king, the Spirit is king. They are the authority in our life that we must submit to. And Jesus here is teaching us how to do that. Yeah. As a human being.
Because probably so much of our angst and anxiety is surrounded by, like, it's down to me today because I'm in charge and it's all about me. But Jesus knew to submit himself.
Yeah. My King and my God is, because if you groan and complain and you try and then control it all going into the day without addressing the Father in heaven, essentially what you're saying is you are king, like you just said. I am in control and it's down to me to sort this all out. But essentially you're saying I'm king. Yeah. But
I don't need to go and pray and submit my requests to the king because he needs to help me. I'm king. I can do this myself.
John Chrysostom, he's a 5th century bishop, and he's pretty famous actually. You might have heard of him. Yeah,
I've heard of him. Yeah,
John Chrysostom, awesome name. He says that this is how Christians should speak in the morning. They get to pray to and ask the Lord, who is their king, and it's actually just speaking like this is what speaking like a Christian is. Yeah, because we have a king, and we shouldn't live like we don't. No. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. It's really helpful if you're in it like that.
So this is how we should pray in the morning. First thing, give ear to my words.
It's similar to like when Jesus teaches us to pray in the Lord's Prayer, isn't it? And he starts with, Father in heaven, hallowed be your name. And like you are king. You are Lord. You are in control. And then he proceeds then to ask and the requests and petition in the Lord's Prayer.
Yeah, that's great. There's more chat on the morning in the next pod.
Yes.
But yeah, thanks for listening to the first one. Catch you on the next episode.
Somebody once told